Stockton's very own Nate Diaz appeared on the MMA Hour, a very good podcast. I actually really enjoy it in video distribution channel. So he went on in typical Nate Diaz fashion with his phone hanging down here somewhere and like up here. Hey, whoa,
Nate, could you go back inside? The connection was better.
The connection's better. Just what I love, like
it's a very real moment.
Yeah, that is the best description for Nate Diaz. He's just real. Like the guy is no filter, and it sometimes may come across a little harsh, but you can't take away from him this fame that it seems like he's always been around, but it hasn't changed him much. And he talks about a couple of interesting things on the podcast. So one thing talks about how it was so funny. He was talking about Dana White and how Dana White was calling him about McGregor and trying to organize the fight, and he's seen that he took McGregor out to a Beverly Hills dinner, and he's like, "What the fuck's my dinner? I want to be brought." So then he's like, and then next minute he called him. He's like, "I'm coming up to Stockton." He's like, "I took him down to the tavern, very nice place down the street. Show people that Stockton's actually a nice place to live." So very real interview, and it gives a lot of context as to the goings on behind the scene with him and Dana White, and he talks about the UFC as a whole, and a very interesting point about why, when certain fighters came around, they decided that they would fight for free. And he mentioned Cowboy Cerrone. So take a look here, and then we'll get into a discussion after.
UFC 202. Am I right? 202,
yep.
Right?
August 20th, right?
Yeah, they hit me up about UFC 202. And I said, I didn't even answer. I said, all right, well, I wonder what's going to happen with that, you know. And then before you know it, I was like training, and then I hear all this Mayweather McGregor shit, and I feel like that's just a big old publicity stunt to hide the fact that he got his ass whooped. So I'm sitting here like, okay. And then I see on the internet that Dana and them went to dinner the other day, right? That was all over the internet.
In Beverly Hills.
Yeah, and they left happy and laughing. And I was like, and I'm sitting back and I'm like, well, I guess I'm cut out of that whole deal. They're having a big old happy meeting about whatever. He must be fighting Mayweather. I didn't believe it, but that must be what's going on, right? And then they called me the next day, and they were like, or they called my management the next day and said, "So are you in or not?" And I'm like, "What the fuck? Where the fuck is my where's my dinner? You know what I'm saying? Where's my special meeting?" So I think they started laughing with my management, and they're like, "All right, we'll be down tomorrow at noon."
Oh wow!
And then they came out. Yeah, so they came out and we had lunch down at Market Tavern, in Stockton, this nice restaurant. Wanted to show somebody else that this isn't a bad place to live. There's nice places too.
Right.
And so we went to lunch, and we had a talk, and these guys are like, "I'll fight anybody." I'm like, "Yeah, because you're saying that to the media and you think people are eating it up, and they did the one time you said it, so you keep saying it. Shut the fuck up. Treat yourself like a business and quit fucking I'll fight for free." I'm like, "Well, that don't help nobody. That's bad karma for you for even fucking stupid ass Cowboy Cerrone says that shit." I'm like, "That's bad karma for just everybody." I'm like, "Because you'll fight for free now, everybody else has got like why wouldn't they pay us because they got dumb shits like you fighting for free?"
So Nate Diaz is a veteran, and he's been around a long time, and he's so right in this instance. The guy's been screwed over a lot of times when it comes to the money that he gets from the UFC, a sport that he's given so much to, and consistently is the man who says, "I'll fight, I don't care who it is, I'll fight them." But he's at a point, and he says he's always been at that point where he's not going to fight for free, especially how many hoops he's had to jump through with the whole McGregor scenario going on, and he's still been ready to fight. So he basically said that these guys, why would they fight for free? I'm not fighting for free. I'm here to make some fucking money. I think Nate Diaz is now kind of understanding how valuable he is, and that he can play the game very similar to the way everyone else seems to play it when it comes to the money. But if you need a reminder for how long it's been since Nate Diaz first came into the sport, it's been a while. And we had a video that was sent in to us of his very first fight where he fought a 58-year-old man. Of course, that's an over-exaggeration, but it looks like a very young, very lanky Nate Diaz fighting a grown man. Maybe that's how he's so tough. So take a look here.
You know what's interesting too is Chael Sonnen went on, I think the day before, same podcast, and said the most powerful words in the UFC, which I think he said multiple times before. The most powerful word is yes. And Nate Diaz is like epitomizes that.
He's a yes man.
He's a yes man when it comes to the fight, but he also has his limit when it comes to financial compensation in general.
Yes.
Like he doesn't want Cerrone taking free fights because that affects other fighters because that might make the UFC think business-wise, oh, we can get a free fight with a big name guy like Donald Cerrone. Why the fuck would we shell out tens of millions of dollars or a couple $1 million or really a couple $100,000 to other fighters in general? Diaz also mentions in this hour-long special, which I encourage people to watch, he's not fighting for belts. He's not fighting for championships, which is something that I've actually never heard a fighter really say, that he's not in the fight game for the championships.
Yeah.
He's in the fight game to be the best.
Yeah.
And granted, that kind of goes hand in hand. What I really think Nate Diaz was getting at, I'm speculating this a little bit, is just that he's going to fight who's in front of him, and he's going to get the fights that he wants. He doesn't care about certain guys in the UFC. He wants certain fights, but he also needs to be compensated, and he's right about it.
Yeah. Thoughts and discrepancies aside on your whether or not you like the Diaz brothers, they put themselves and each other first. Like they're there to prove to themselves that they can compete at this level. Nate Diaz was shouting from the rooftops when no one else would listen, saying, "I could take on Conor McGregor. I'm the next man. That motherfucker's taking all my fights." Blah blah blah.
Quote,
that was his
word
exact
for
words.
word.
I'm not just cursing out my ass here, but there's another curse word. Jesus, sorry, mom. But it was interesting when he was talking to who's the host in the podcast?
Ariel Helwani.
Ariel Helwani, and does a great job as well. When he was talking to him, he was like, "Well, Nate Diaz said first, well, me and McGregor had the highest gate," and he was like, and then he corrected him. He's like, "It was the second highest gate, but you guys had 11 days to promote it. There was 11 days to promote that fight." So it's a very good point that Nate Diaz has to. I think he has to realize. I don't think he did at certain points how valuable he is to the UFC and how valuable that fight was, and the ability that he has to control the upcoming fights.
Comment below, like, favorite, subscribe, social. Comment below, like, favorite, subscribe, social media in the description box below.